Yo, what's up? It's your boy DJ Mad Scientist. Usually there's a little countdown that goes into before I get on this. Usually a little countdown, but didn't happen. The timing was way off. um, all right, well, we got another little session. Let's go ahead and get into the introduction so I can make sure that I have everything right, not only on this YouTube edition, but also for the radio. Okay. Hey, what's up? This is Mad Scientist on the all new Power 97.5 LA. Today, we are just talking music, where we bring you vital information about music production, promotion, and distribution every week, right here, where we on the iGlobal Radio app. Download the app from your favorite app store or go to the website, iglobalradio.com. That's iglobalradio.com. All right, we got that done. Okay. Hold on for a minute. Give me some water. It's like I'm talking all day, you know. I'm on the radio for 4 hours. Now I got to come talk again for another hour and a half. We'll see. Make sure you always have plenty of water. I do alkaline water. It's supposed to have some minerals in there, you know, potassium, K. I don't know. I don't have anything to test it, so I don't know. I couldn't tell you for sure, but it's supposed to have some added minerals in there, kind of like help out your health, your physical health. All right. We are talking about, let me pull up my notes. We are talking about music marketing, know your platform, part 3. This is a 4-part series, so this is part 3 of the 4. We got one more coming up next week. The first one for the new year, you know, and the main point of this little 4-pack of videos, lectures, whatever you want to call it. The main point is to kind of give you a more realistic understanding about how you are supposed to create your music. Okay. A lot of people just think, well, as long as I have a passion and I just go in, get drunk, get high, and come up with something that feels good, then that's all that should matters, right? And I'm not saying that that doesn't work. I'm not, you know, I actually have an artist that only likes to work in that process, right? Not the drunk get high part, but he don't want no, like MC Johnny T does not want to deal with no kind of analytical, no like let's review this, let's study this. He doesn't. It's all feel. In fact, when I'm working on his projects, he just comes through and I make the beat, I cook it up in front of him, like fresh off the press. And you know, we might have a conversation before, just to kind of like get our minds right. I start cooking up, and next you know, he starts writing out. And as long as it feels good, that's what matters. Now he may not finish the whole song, like he may, you know, write it out, but then he'll like practice it, he'll spit it, practice, and then go home, then practice it, get it right, make sure all the flows are right, and then come back. So in my brain, that's kind of like some form of analytics, but he doesn't think it's that way. So it is what it is. He's happy. That's the most important thing. Now, me on the other hand, mad scientist, I came out of music school, and part of what we did in music school is we analyze. We analyze music. We look at different things that, you know, little techniques that people have used in the past. We're like, okay, maybe this can work for this. You know, we call them like musical devices, right? And musical devices could be like a turnaround, um, you know, a build up. You might say, okay, that works that way. That works with that song. You know, we'll put a build up in our song. And that's how I generally will like to create. And a lot of times, MC Johnny T will be like, well, one day you'll just have fun. And I tell him I am having fun when I'm going through this process to create music, I am having fun. It is fun to me. So um, everybody has their technique and their way of doing things. I'm presenting an idea to you that you should consider, primarily because me as a DJ, I get a lot of people that come to me and want to give me music. And I have many times I have to explain to them the lesson I learned, which I talked about in previous videos, where I said I was making music, but it wasn't fitting a platform or the platforms that I frequent on. And so therefore the music was unusable. What do I mean by that? Meaning that I'm a DJ. Okay. Tonight I'm gonna be DJing. I was making music that I couldn't even play at the club for myself. Okay. I was making good music, but I couldn't play it at the club that I'm at. Okay. So it didn't make any sense for me to make that kind of music because I can't even use it. Hence the phrase is unusable. Right. And then you get on radio and all of us have language that we like to use. Okay. Well, if you use too much of that language, you use too much of the, too many curse words, too much just toxic language, then it doesn't translate well onto the radio. So even though I'm on a radio show, if I gotta like cut out multiple words in every bar, then all you're hearing is up, 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 and it's really not effective as a song. So the main point that we're going to get today is understanding your platform, okay, and then providing music that is usable for the platform. Plain and simple. Got to make music that is usable for the platform that you are targeting. You got to know what platforms either you have access to, like me. I have access to two platforms other than Spotify and everything else. I have clubs. Well, actually, three. I have clubs. I have my events, and I have the radio. So I have three platforms I have access to, right? And so the key for me, especially in 2026, is to create music that I can use on these platforms. That's plain and simple what we're getting into. Okay. So let's talk about different kind of platforms. I talked about this before. I got to scratch my back. All right. Sorry about that. I talked about different platforms before. The ones I talked about were um, radio stations. You guys have way more access to radio stations than you realize. One thing that you guys are not factoring in is college radio and online radio. Online radio is actually growing. Okay, it's actually growing. It's a lot more powerful than um, traditional terrestrial radio because in your local city you might have a radio station and it can only cover the radio station. I know it feels good because it feels like that's real radio, but that would be like saying, I need to like, I want to cook some food. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go outside, dig a pit, put some wood in there, and because that's a real fire, because they did that back in the day. Like, nah, that's ridiculous. You're gonna just take your food, go into the kitchen, right? You're gonna use the newer appliances. Well, online radio is just newer appliances. Okay, it's the kitchen. Okay. Yes, out here in LA, we have Power 106. And a lot of people just automatically go to Power 106 because they get in the car and they just turn it on. Okay. It's just kind of automatic. But we also live in a world where there's a lot of, you have apps on your phone. You can download an app on your phone. Okay. And the app that my particular radio station is on, not mine, but the one that I'm on is Power 975 LA. And the app is iGlobal Radio app. Okay, you download the app, iGlobal Radio app, and then you find the station, Power 97.5 LA. Boom, you got me. And here's the thing. Let's say you start off in LA and you go to Vegas. It's 4 hours. Okay. From LA to Vegas, basically 4 hours. maybe 5. And that whole time, you can listen to my show. Okay, the whole time. You know, it's not going to cut off. It's not going to get staticky. It's not going to do any of that. It's going to stay on the whole time. So that's why I said online radio is really, really, truly effective. So you can contact us. You can contact me. We can get you your music played on the radio. We can get interviews. We can get some interviews. I'm in 2026. I'm gonna start doing interviews. Okay, so you can contact me, and you can also go to the right there. You can go to this QR code and go to my website, and then yeah, right there. You can go to the website, and there's a link on there so you can go to the radio station. Um, and that way you can hear it. Or you can just contact me via Instagram like everybody else does. Let's schedule you an interview. That way your content is everywhere around the globe. It's not just in your city only. It's everywhere. And every artist wants to be heard around the globe, right? Only natural. Okay, so we talked about radio. You also have strip clubs. I'm not a big strip club guy, but um, everybody's got strip clubs. Out here in California, we have strip clubs, nightclubs. That's where I operate. Nightclubs. You also have brunch events. I have a brunch event. Okay, and you have private events. Okay, I would say all of these are platforms that you can use in order to get your music in front of more people. Okay. And the great thing about private events is that, you know, like when I DJ at private events, that's my time. I can really connect with the people and play new music. Okay. And so if I have a song that I really, really like, that's my time. I can connect with people, really play it, see if they like it. And, all it takes is a group of people to decide, hey, I'm going to line dance to your song and put it on TikTok. Man, now you're 310 baby. Okay. That's how he blew up. Okay. Just a lot of people using his music on TikTok. Okay. So first and foremost, you want to know your platforms. Okay. And I'm going faster on this introductory part. You can always go to the first 2 videos and I go more in depth. This one is like I've already talked about it. So I'm kind of skimming through it because I want to really, really get into the case study. Okay. I don't want to leave the case study for last. Okay. I talked about before in the past where you can have a passion, you can have a skill, but what you want to do is you take your passion and your skill and you want to marry them together. Okay. We all start off with a passion, but what we got to start doing is developing skill so we can marry them together. And what the benefit is to that is that you start creating music faster, efficiently, and you can get more and more beats. And you're not guessing. Okay. You're not sitting here like, oh, I'm gonna make 10 beats and maybe 2 of them are good. Okay. Yeah, you made 10 beats, but how many of them are good? You want to get closer to 10 for 10. Okay. Here's the thing I want you to understand. As a DJ, whether it's on the radio or in front of people, I play a ton of songs. In my laptop, I got 7,000 songs. 7,000. Now, ask me if I like all of those songs. Ask me if I understand all of them. Some were in Spanish, okay? But ask me if I like all of them. There's a lot of songs I like for the club, but am I going to be like, let me just be chilling at the house listening to Act Up, Real As Give Up. I'm trying not to cuss, but you know the words, right? Am I going to listen to City Girls like while I'm at home cleaning up? Probably not. Okay. But I'll play Act Up at the club all day, every day. Okay. We still play that Act Up. Okay. Song that just gets, it's going to get the party going. So if you focus on, I want every song to be good, you're going to either get beat block or you're going to get writer's block. You're going to get too caught up into, I just got to make this one song better. Or you're going to get caught up into, just guessing And you don't, that's not what you want. You don't want to be guessing all the time, trying to make sure that you're just getting beats out. What you want is to just create usable beat after usable beat after usable beat. That way, you never know if someone says, I like that. But what you do know is if someone says, I need a club banger, okay, here's a club banger because it's created to be a club banger. Okay. And all they have to do is put the lyrics on top. You never know. Usher didn't like Yeah at first. And that one is a super, 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 super hit. Okay. Because what makes it a super hit is it hits over um, multiple platforms. It's a hit on the radio. It's a hit in the club. It's a hit at events. It's a hit everywhere, even in strip clubs. They could play it. So, and Usher didn't originally like it. He didn't think it was going to hit. But guess what? It worked because it fit the right aesthetic for the nightclub. And once it hit in the nightclub, it went everywhere. Okay. I listen to that song and I analyze it. I'm like, there's a ton of reasons why that song, even the name of it, yeah. Because it came around the time Dave Chappelle was making yeah really big. Hence, yeah. Okay. So I mean, it has so many hooks, has so many reasons why it's it was just going to be a hit. All Usher had to do was just sing and show up. Okay. Now, one of the main things that I want you to be able to do once you finish the series is to have a plan of action. What do I mean by that? It means when you sit down and decide I'm gonna make a beat, you're not sitting there like, I don't know what I'm gonna do today. And believe it or not, I used to do that down to the okay, what tempo, what key am I gonna choose? What sounds? You going through sounds and you're like trying to figure out what sound you want to use. And after a while, all the sounds just sound either good to you or bad to you, or you don't know because you're like guessing. Okay. So, what this series from 1 to 4 will allow you to do is have a plan of action so that when you sit down, you can say, okay, this is what I'm going to do today. I already know my tempo, I already know my key, and I have an idea of what kind of sounds I need to use. Okay. I'm not saying you got to copy and paste everybody's sounds, but you should have an idea of what sounds are going to sound better over songs in each of the platforms. Okay. Like I always use the example out here in California, if you're gonna do like a ratchet song, every ratchet song, not everyone, but there are a ton of ratchet songs with a piano. I don't know why. Ratchet songs and pianos go together, but they go together. You know, don't ask me why. Okay. I don't know why, but that is the case. Piano sounds and ratchet songs, they kind of go together. So those are the type of things that I'm talking about when I say sounds. Okay. Now, before I actually get into the case study, and we're going to do the case study in Serato, DJ Pro. Okay. So you actually get to see how I go through this process. And I actually have two beats that I've already written, one full song, two beats, and I use this system, and I know that I'll be able to play the music that I'm creating right now. Now, I can't guarantee that everybody's going to say, "Oh my God, this is so great. I love it." I can't say that. But what I can say is that number one, I can play it because it fits the aesthetic. And then number two, it fits the format. And those are the two things I can guarantee. Everything else is up to the masses. Either they're going to like it or they don't. Okay. I can tell you as a DJ, typically, if you give people something that fits the aesthetic, they're gonna at least give it a chance. Then you got to go out there and do other things in order to like really make it pop. You know, create a line dance for it, create a challenge for it, something that will engage people to say, "Ooh, I would like to do that, or I would like to participate in that. Um, Something that makes people say, okay, I'm going to engage with this song. And that's how I want you to think about it. The perspective I want you to have is what you want is to create music that people want to engage with. That's it. That's the whole key thing that took me over a lot of years to figure out is that music is something you engage. Music is something that you use to come together as a collective group and you guys either sing or dance. If you can't sing or dance to it as a group or as a community or even as an individual, it's kind of hard for that song to just blow up. Okay? If it if you can connect with each other on a group level, hey, you connect with each other on a state level, even better. You connect with that song connects everyone on a national level. Okay, now we talking global. Now we talking about Michael Jackson. We talking about the hits, hits. Okay, like Kendrick Lamar's "Not Like Us." That connected on a global level. It wasn't just one person saying, "Oh man, that's a really good song." Okay, all right. Now before we get into that, I'm gonna have to show you something. I don't know if you guys are noticing, but I got some new merch on. What? Yes, I have some new merch. And so I just wanted to just show you this is the dad hat that I've been telling you about. Okay. Here it is right here. Now I have my version. And I can tell you now that I have it, it looks good. It feels good. It's not flimsy or anything. Like it's a really cool hat. I've already got the hoodie for myself. I got the white um logo hoodie and the black logo hoodie. And then, it's wintertime. If you want to get the beanie, these are popular right now. A lot of people are buying the beanies and the hoodies, but the beanies and the hoodies very, very popular. And then I got other t-shirts. I got the logo t-shirts. I got my Saturday brunch t-shirt. I think this one is mostly for the ladies. I'm not sure. And then I got my old school t-shirts. I think what is page 2? Oh, yeah, 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 the tank top, the tank. All right, so if you want some Mad Scientist merch, don't be afraid, going out there, pick it up. It does come to you. It's really not expensive. I mean, $20 for a dad hat, 65 for a hoodie, that's pretty good. I checked the prices, good prices. Beanies, 25. T-shirts are between 20 and $25. So I priced them so that they are realistic. Not, I didn't want them to be cheap. I just wanted to, let's just have some fun. You guys go get some t-shirts. Okay. All right. That being said, let me get a little water. I need to get a mad scientist water bottle. Now, the case study I'm doing is me. Why? Because I need a hit. For me to blow up, and the reason why I started doing these videos is not because I want to do a how to, right? This is like how I blog, how I vlog. And I tell everybody my goal in life is to become a famous DJ. I want to blow up. Okay. So I spent time, years, trying to get better and better and better. Okay. I spent a lot of time getting better and better. I've done so many parties since, I mean, I started DJing early, like in high school, but I kind of focused on production. But I got back into DJing in 2019, and I've done so many parties, so many type of parties. I've been in front of so many people. I would feel like over the past 6 years, I have been around, I want to say in the tens of thousands of people. Okay. Because I've been able to be at clubs, I've been able to be at bars, I've been able to be at private parties, private event, special events, all kind of people. And hands down, people feel like I am a really, really good DJ. And I feel the same way too. I feel like I'm a good DJ as well. Okay. So, um, what's the issue? Why you ain't all famous? Why you ain't blow up yet? Because I don't have a hit. Okay. And I don't mind saying it. I don't have a hit. And earlier this year, not earlier this year, earlier this month, I had to come to Jesus moment. I had to have a reality check. Like, because uh, I'll tell this story really quick. I have a promoter that I work with, and he does really big shows out here. And he books me for his smaller events and his club. And so he's got this big event coming up. And I'm like, and I finally just asked him, like, bro, what's up? Like, how come I'm not involved with it? And, you know, I always tell people I have my mother's mouth, right? So what does that mean? My mom was like straightforward, right? And I kind of like people who are straightforward, right? It's hard to hear, it hits you hard, but it be the truth. So I asked him, and this promoter, he tells you straight up, like there is no, like if you don't really want to know the answer, like if you're not ready for a answer, straight no chaser, don't ask him a question. I've learned that lesson the hard way. Like I don't always ask him questions, but I just happened to ask him a question like, "Hey, why am I not part of your bigger events?" And he was just like, "Because you're not that guy." And I thought he was joking, but he was really serious. He was like, "Yeah, you're not the guy." And I had to have a real conversation with myself, a come to Jesus moment. Like, and so I had to ask myself and really contemplate, why am I not that guy? You know, like and what he meant was, you don't, like you can be a good DJ, and this is just a sidebar. You can be a real good DJ and know all the songs to play. And trust me, I know all the songs to play. I'm a really, really great DJ. But it doesn't matter. What matters is how many butts you put in or how many feet you put on the dance floor. Okay. I was gonna take a shout out to Samuel Jackson. Because he's always like, yeah, I put butts in seats. Okay. Well, I gotta put feet on floor. And that's what it comes down to. If you're a DJ, you're good, fine. But if you want to get booked for the larger events, you got to put feet on floor. And that's what I can't do. That's what I don't do right now. You know, when I go there DJ, there's usually people already there. And then I'll just have to just show up and just, I'm doing like maybe an hour, 2 hours. And if you know what you're doing, it's really not a lot of work. So it's like in other words, what he was saying to me is, yeah, I got this big event, but who you with? Like Jay-Z said, who you with? Who's with you? Who you bringing to the event besides you and maybe a couple of your friends? And so I had to come to the realization and be honest with myself. I'm not bringing anybody with just me and my friends. Okay. So that led me to the point where I had to say, okay, how do I finally get to the point where I am that guy? And the only way that if you study DJs that blow up, they are DJ slash producers, number one, which I am. I'm a DJ producer, but more importantly, they have a hit record. I was looking at DJ Snake at an interview with DJ Snake, and he talked about his song "Turn Down for What." He said before that song came out, he was over in France. He's at these hip hop clubs. He's like, I can barely pay my rent. And he said he came up with that song with Lil Jon. Lil Jon had some heat, but he was kind of coming down. And had that song with Lil Jon. And that one song changed his life. Now he's DJ Snake. Turn Down for What? If you look at all of the top producers in hip hop, Dr. Dre, he was a DJ. Metro Boomin. I'm kind of keeping it young because I don't want to tell people my era, but Metro Boomin is a DJ. Okay, he's a prominent DJ. Little John is a DJ. Okay. Yes, he's a producer, but he's a DJ. Okay. Timberland was a DJ. Who else? Anybody that you think is a hot producer, more than likely, if you look them up, they're a DJ. And so for me, yeah, as good as I was as a DJ, I was I did not have a hit song as a producer, and unfortunately, that's what makes a difference. DJ Mustard obviously was a DJ. He was a DJ before, okay, out here in LA. He was DJing, all right, before he just blew up. And so for me, that's why I'm doing a case study because this is more of a blog, and I had to really analyze myself as not just as a DJ, but as a producer and an artist. Okay. Now, I didn't come into the game wanting to be an artist, but the thing is this is that honestly, I just want to make sure that I found a non-flaky artist. And I'm a workaholic. I work hard. Like this is my passion. I'm going to make it. So there was no other artist. And I, writing lyrics, I can write lyrics. It's not my strong point, but I can write lyrics. Now, if I wanted to be like MC Johnny T, I would not cut it. I'm not a lyricist. Okay. But in terms of writing raps, I'm really, really good at it. And so my only apprehension was, well, I don't know, I seem kind of a little aged. I'm a little up there to be rapping, right? Like, should I really be rapping? You know, but I kind of got over it because most of the people out there that's rapping now are older than me. So um that's fine. Now I have to take advantage of this opportunity. So that's just an explanation as to why I'm using myself as a case study. I like the music I did before. Trust me, I did. But out of all the music I did before, I was just kind of guessing. I like it. I have fun. The last project I did, I'll be honest, those were a lot of rejected beats that I wanted to prove were good. And, it's like out of all the music that I've released, I would say maybe one or two are usable. Take flight. I can still play. Play that in the club all the time. That's my song. I play in the club. Take flight. I'm jet streaming. I take flight. Take flight. Okay, and then on the radio, I play Mad Crazy. Okay, feels so good. Yeah. Okay. So, um, so I've made a couple of songs that kind of fit, and I don't know why. Um, I have a song called Vegas Pool Party. It's my most popular song. I don't know why. One day I'll understand, but it is. I feel like this next project that I'm going to release, February, March, is going to be probably the best project I've released for myself because all the music is going to be usable. And I'm going to do less music. Excuse me. I'm going to do less music. I'm only doing 3 songs. Why for this project? Because I realized I was doing 6, 8. For what? I can't even play all of those songs. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm acting as though I already have this huge fan base that just can't wait for me to start putting music out. And that's just not the case. The reality is I got me and my friends and the people that work at the club that like my music. That's it. Okay. And I can't play all my music all night at the club. I can't even play that much music. Maybe in the radio, but I'm only on the radio 4 hours. I can't play that much music on the radio. So I don't need that much music. I just need one, actually. But I want to do 3. Okay. So that's the mad scientist case study. Okay. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually go to, and this is the part that everybody likes. They like when I go to um Serato. Okay. And the great thing about Serato is that it gives you a lot of information. Now, it's not, this is not giving me all the information that I want. Okay. Because I just haven't figured out how to. I don't have the time to sit here and figure out how to connect all these songs. Okay. I mean, I could probably sit here and say, okay, well, all these are in hip hop. So let me see something. Oh, cancel. Let me go to files. What are beat makers and scientists? I'm just gonna try this one time. And if it doesn't work, then I'm not gonna care. Okay. Um, hmm. Oh, there it is. Okay. Relocate lost files. I'm gonna see if it'll like go through. It's taking too long. I'm not gonna. Okay, I'm not gonna go through all that. Okay, so but you are able to see there are some songs that have the name of the artist, the BPM, the key, right? And let me see. Let me take off plays. Let me take off man. Take off album. Okay. So you can see the name of the song, and this is my actual playlist. What does that mean? Okay. Let me go backwards a little bit. Okay, so this is Serato. Okay, this is Serato DJ Pro. And this is Serato DJ Pro. And this is what I use in order to DJ. Okay. And 99.9% of DJs use Serato DJ Pro. Okay. Now, the way Serato DJ Pro is set up um, is I have these files here. These are all like crates. Like think about the old school crates where they had albums in the crates. Okay. And you would put all your records in a crate and you would say, okay, what kind of party am I going to? Okay, hip hop. Okay, cool. Let me get all my hip hop crates with all my hip hop records in it. Right. And we don't have to do that anymore. Thank God. But we still do it in, metaphysically. I don't know the right word. I'm probably using the wrong word, but we still do it theoretically. We're putting these records in these crates. So this is my hip hop all crate. I have a hip hop 80s crate. I have a hip hop 90s crate. Okay. And then I also have R&B, pop. So I have all these crates. So every time I download a new song, all those new downloads go into my crates. So if it's a hip hop song, I'll put it into hip hop crate. Now that's the crates. These are the playlists. What do I mean by playlists? These are songs that I'm gonna likely play. Okay. I'm most likely gonna play. And these songs have made it, they test the time, they fit, and so these are the songs I'm gonna likely use. Okay. And I generally will put them in order. I wish I could show you the key of every and the BPM, but unfortunately cannot. You can see in this case right here, I have multiple BPMs, multiple keys. Maybe next week I'll have it finally like taken care of. Um, but today, nope, don't have it. Okay. Why is this right here? Anyway, all right. So, and generally I will put them in order according to how I want to play the song or by key. Okay. So some songs just kind of, I know from experience, they kind of sound good after each other. So one of my mixes that I probably will do tonight is I'll go from Sweetie, My Type, to um, Yin Yang Twins, Salt Shaker, right? Because I know it sounds good together, right? And from there, I'll go to I'll go to my R&B party mix number 6, and I'll go all the way to Usher, Yeah, right? Right? And so after Usher, Yeah, I'll go back to my hip hop party mix, right? And I'll play Sierra, my goodies, my goodies, my goodies, my goodies. All right. And so then from there, I can play it's not okay. I know why. Okay, so then I can play um from there I can play Get Low. Okay. Where is it at? Where is Get Low? Okay, there it is. I can play Get Low. I know it sounds good together, right? Now I'm not worried about the key at this point, okay? Because I know they sound good. Okay. I call it my Little John. I literally call it my Little John mix. So, and then I go from there to Out of My Mind. F and lose it. I'm out of my mind, right? I don't care about the key. I know the vibe sounds good together, right? And then from there, I go to Birthday because they bring out the bottles. I go Birthday, one times for the birthday girl, two times for the birthday girl, right? Or guy, right? And then from there, I generally will go to Blow the Whistle, right? Two shorts, Blow the Whistle. Okay. Now, as you see, you might be thinking, well, what about these other songs? You don't play none of those? Yes, I have options. But I know that within this playlist, I have options of songs that have a similar vibe. Okay. It fits. The problem I have with myself included and a lot of new artists is that they don't know how to fit into a DJ playlist. And if you go to any DJ, they've got playlists and it's not standardized. Everybody's different. Okay. I'm on the West Coast. Okay. So certain songs I know we play. But if you're in the South, you may not play these songs. Or if you're in the East Coast, you may not play these songs. But you know a DJ, and the DJ will have a playlist. Okay. He's not going to play every song back to back, go down straight down the line. No DJ does that. But we have it organized so that we know in the heat of the battle, when we're been drinking way too much, everybody's on the floor, swinging, going, two-stepping, whatever, throwing their drinks up, everybody's shouting in the heat of the battle. I got all these songs in here will fit. And I don't have to worry about like, okay, I play this song, my homie really wants me to play it, and it just totally kills the vibe. That's what we don't want to do. You will get fired if you kill the vibe. Trust me, these promoters, they don't play. Okay. So the key for you is to make sure you make music that fits within the format. Okay. So we talked about last week, we talked about nightclub, right? And we talked about nightclub in the last one. I'm checking my time. Um over here. We talked about nightclub and we talked about strip clubs, right? So now I'm going to talk about private events. Okay. So let me go in here. This week, I want to talk about private events and private parties. Okay. So for me, the private events, I mean, the brunches, they live in the 90s R&B. I call it 90s, but it's 90s 2000s. I'm just not going to make the name long, but it's 90s and 2000s. And here's my 90s 2000. One of my favorite little mixes for 90s 2000, really to get it like, okay, I know people have been drinking and they're starting to feel it, is Aaliyah Rock the Boat. Okay. Going from Aaliyah Rock the Boat, or I may start with, if they've been there for a while, I may start with, where is it at? It's hard for me to see it because, oh, there it is. Keisha Cole, Let It Go. I used to, chibby, 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 and with him, dun, 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 right where you don't want it. Dun, 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 where you want to be. That's funny, right? And that's really gets people going. Next thing I do is Neo, Sexy Love. Then I go Rock the Boat. By the time I get to Rock the Boat, people starting to sway. I got them. And then I go into Oh Baby. Dun, dun, okay. And then Family Affair. And then from there, I start going into okay, I got them. I know I got them. I've been doing this for way too long. LL Cool J, Paradise. If you want and real and your love and paradise, I want to give you all my love. Okay, that's the brunch vibe. Okay, and the reason why I'm bringing this up to you, you might say, well, I don't want to make a song from way back then. You know, like I can't go back to the 90s and the 2000s, right? I don't want to make a dated song. You don't have to make a dated song, but each of these songs have BPM and keys. Okay. So if you want it to be, in this little mix, you need to give me something that feels like it doesn't have to be old, but it feels right within, this Aaliyah, Ashanti family affair and its music. As long as it feels like it can fit in there. Okay. Another good example is out here in the West Coast, we all play Lucy Pearl and Snoop. Now, when that song was out, it was a good song, but it was never as big as it is right now. Okay. And that's that song You, right? And usually out here in the West Coast, I combine that with I'll go to You. Now, here's a good example. Brunch, right? You're like, I don't want to play old music. After I play You, what's the next thing I'm gonna play? Um, I usually go a different route, but I could play. I could, and it wouldn't go wrong. I could play 310 Baby Soak City because it's You is a song that the ladies like to line dance on. Soak City is a song ladies like to line dance on. And then I'll go back up here to it's hard for me to see this because just the colors. Kang Wang, the Kang Wang song, Kang Wang with it. Da-da-da. These are all new songs, but it still fits within the brunch vibe. So you have to know for your area what people like to do during the brunch. So I would say go to the brunches. Kang Wang, I never hear it on the radio. I do play it in the club, right? But what made this song was the brunch vibes. Okay. Rock Yo Hips by 310 Baby. I don't really play that song a lot. It doesn't really stand alone, but in a club setting, I mean, in a brunch setting, it's working. Okay. And so that's why I'm telling you, you want to know your format so that even if the song is not, I mean, this is not 310 Baby's biggest song, but um, but at the same time, I can fit it into a format that maybe he didn't intend for this song to be in. Maybe he did. Maybe he said, this is my brunch song. Rock Your Hips is going to be my brunch song, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, even if his intent was for it to be in a club, I was able to find a format, a platform for that song. Okay. And so, what I'm trying to get you guys to really open your eyes up to is understanding your different platforms so that you can create music that will fit into the platform. Okay. Now, when I do private events, the biggest thing out here right now are line dancing. Okay. So I have a number of songs that some of the creators said, okay, yeah, I want this to be a line dance. Some of them did, like the Cupid Shuffle, the Wobble Shuffle, Wobble Wobble, right? But then you have some songs that the creator did not intend to make a line dance song. One of them being Wham Whammy. Okay, I have some more. I have to this is like my non-updated playlist. Don't worry about that. But I have songs on here that have nothing to do, Remember the Time wasn't supposed to be a line dance, but it is now. Can't Get Enough with Tamia, it's a line dance. So you might decide, you know what? I go to a lot of brunches. I do a lot of private events. You know what? Let me do a line dance song. Okay, let me do a song that people can line dance to. It doesn't have to, it could be pretty overt. It could be like Cupid Shuffle, where clearly that's a line dance song, or Achy Breaky Heart, or Cha Cha Slide. Those are line dance songs, right? They're meant for that. Or you can have a song that you say, okay, I make it, but then I'm going to create a line dance for. Tamia's Can't Get Enough. I don't know who came up with the idea to make that a line dance, but someone did. And even though this song is, it's got to be old. I mean, I don't know when Tamia created that song, but it doesn't matter. It's hot now. And whoever owns it is getting paid now from that song because it's very, very popular. Okay. So let me check my time. I want to make sure I don't go over. Okay, cool. So that's what I mean by creating music that fits various platforms. Okay. What I suggest that everyone do, if you know a DJ, and I really want to stress this, if you know a DJ in your city, okay, and they're professionally doing, you know, the DJ thing, right? They're out there. They're at nightclubs, they're at strip clubs, they're at, you know, it could be weddings. Okay. Wedding DJs have a certain format. And if you have a song that you say, okay, I want this to be like a song that is for weddings. Wale has a song, Matrimony. It's played at every wedding. Okay. Wale will forever have that song because it fits at every wedding. Okay. Out here in California, it fits at black weddings, white weddings, Latino weddings, and Asian weddings. Everybody plays that song Matrimony. Okay. So you might say, you know what? I'm gonna create a great wedding song. I have a friend, him and his partner, all they do is make Christmas music every year. They know their format. They make Christmas music, like Christmas hip hop. And they just every year they come up with a new song and they release it. And now it's to the point where you have people in the industry who are looking for them. They're requesting Christmas music from these guys. I've never written a song for them because it's not my thing, but I thought about it right now. I'm like, yo, they literally understand their platform and they provide music for that platform. Okay. And they're successful at it. It's corny to me, but they are successful at it some kind of way. All right. Um, I had some more. Um, I think I'm going to do this next week. I'm looking at my notes, by the way. I think I'm going to do this part next week because it's going to be important. I spend way more time than like 10 minutes, okay, on this information right here. So again, I'll end it by saying this. Go to it. I don't know if I said it, so I'll just kind of repeat myself. Go find a DJ, find their playlist, talk to them, see what they need in order to oh, I know what I wanted to do. See what that DJ needs in order to get for you to get on their playlist. Now, I'm gonna write 3 songs for myself. I should have remembered this part. I'm gonna write 3 songs for myself. The first song is kind of like a out here in California, we have these songs that just I mean, we call it ratchet, but it's just really aggressive. And I'll tell you what we do. Okay, we start off with YG's You Broke. Shut up. Don't talk to me. Get your bread up. Yeah, we used to, but okay, if you know the words, you know it. That's a party starter. That's like that song right there. Like if you're trying to start a set, whether you're in a, you probably would use it either in the middle or the ending set, right? You can start that. You can use that song as like, okay, we're at the brunch, but we're about to party. You start that song right there, and it's featuring Nipsey. And for those who are on the West Coast to watch this, please don't make the mistake of cutting off Nipsey's verse. Okay. I'm not saying you shouldn't know that, or I'm not saying you don't know it, but in case you don't, you got to play the whole song. And everybody plays this whole song. Okay. Usually after that, we'll go into um, Geeked Up by Jeezy. Okay. Let me find it. Where is it at? Um, Geeked Up. Here we go. Young Jeezy, Fable. We don't play the Fable part, but we play the Jeezy part. Geeked up, geeked up. Now, I said to myself, I usually go to the Migos fight night. Okay. It's not that it's a good song because after I go from here, I go into like because it allows me to go from here from that song into act up. Okay. And I get the girls because I already got everybody, singing these two songs, and now they're ready to party. And I go from that, fight night, and then I go real ass give up, the words, right? I could do that. Okay. I said to myself, you know what? I want to contribute because I'm from the West Coast and I love this little mix, right? So I said, you know what? Let me uh, write something that could fit in there. So I wrote a beat and the lyrics that would fit in this, okay? That would fit in this scenario. Then originally I wrote it in the key of, I remember I wrote it in the key of F. And when I loaded up to my laptop, this is not my DJ laptop that you're seeing, it really didn't sonically, musically, it didn't work in the key of F. So I said, what key is You Broke in? It's in the key of E flat. I wish you could see it right here. Um, it would say what the key is. And I said, well, what key is Geeked Up? Same key as You Broke. I said, that's why they work together. I said, if I want mine to work together, then I need to put mine in the same key. So I adjusted the key from F to E flat in order to make my song fit into this mix. That's what I did. Literally, that's what I did. Okay. The next song is that I'm putting together. I don't have a name for it yet, but I said, okay, here's my mix. And if you could see it, this is like my 100 BPM hip hop party mix, right? No matter what the BPM, I know it says 96, but I'm going to raise it up to 100. And I said, of all these songs on here, hopefully you guys can see it on your TV screen. If you can't, forgive me. I said, of all these songs, where could I like fit myself? Now I'm already here at Take Flight. Take Flight is right here. Okay, so I do play myself. But I usually go from Take Flight to the London to then I start going into Tiger, Make It Nasty, right? Well, I do like a little twerk. Okay, I go to Tiger, Make It Nasty, just to make it simple, right? Okay, and then from there I can go into my ratchet mix. Okay, so I'm able to fit myself in that one way, but I need to fit myself with a new song in a different way. And so after looking at it, I said, okay, what do I like? Do I want to do something that Travis Porter, bring it back, bring it back? I thought about that, right? Because I usually go from Travis Porter to David Banner, Play to Miss New Booty to Juvenile, Back That Ass Up. I could go in that mix. I could find myself in there. Okay. I chose to go with um, putting myself in the City Girls, YG Pop It, Shake It mix. So I go City Girls, YG Pop It, and then I'll go to Travis Porter. I can do that. Okay, so I'll go me and then Travis Porter. So my new song will be in between Pop It, Shake It, and Travis Porter. So now I can play this song. And is anyone going to say, oh my God, I noticed that song in between, Pop It, Shake It, and Travis Porter? Probably not. But I could still play it. And with repetition over time, people, and I know this because um it happened with Take Flight. One of the bartenders was like, that song sound like you. I said, it is me. So now every time I play it, most of the bar, and I mean most of the people in the club that work there, they know the song. And then some of the people, and so I know they like it. So I'm able to tell some other people, like, hey, that's my song. And so now at my club, people know my Take Flight song. Okay. So yeah, I'll make a second song that is going to fit in between that little mini mix. Okay. You got to know your platform. The third song that I'm going to make, I'm going to do a line dance song. Why? I called MC Johnny T. I said, I don't care. I know you're a lyricist, but you are making a line dance song this year. Okay. Why am I doing it? Because I DJ at brunches. It only makes sense. Why am I going to do all these line dance songs and not have one? Okay. It doesn't make any sense. I already got the attention. Usually my brunches have about 50 to 100 people, somewhere in between that. I got the attention of 50 to 100 people. They've been giving me their attention for over 4 hours, and I'm not going to play any of my music, something that represents me. Okay. So I'm going to figure out, I haven't figured that one out yet. I'm still working on the first two. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do the line dance, but I figure it's probably going to be something close to either K Wang, or Through on Old Baby, Soak City. I already know that because this is what we dance to in the West Coast. It makes no sense for me to make another Boots on the Ground because I don't even know where those guys are from. I think they're from Mississippi, but I'm not from Mississippi. Okay. I have West Coast people that are coming to West Coast brunches. And yes, we went through the phase of Boots on the Ground, but it's kind of fading out a little bit. Okay. But you, 310 Baby, Soak City, K Wang, I can play that at the brunches, the Taco Tuesday, and I generally, because I close a lot, I will play it at the club. Okay. And so would it be great if I'm able to go? I usually will play like um, you know, Soak City, go to K Wang, and then out here we have to go. It's mandatory. You got to go. Ain't no fun, and then from Ain't No Fun you go to you, okay? And or I may just go to you and then Ain't No Fun, okay? Depends on my mood at the time, right? And so the main thing that I want to impress upon you guys is, as I go over time, is knowing your format will allow you to be able to know what kind of music you want to write. Okay. And then all you have to do is find your references. I found my references. Now you may think, is that cheating? Is that copying? No. If you go into any music class and you're learning music, or if you're learning to play music, write music, the biggest thing we do is analyze. That's the biggest thing we do. You have any kind of music education, you're going to analyze music over and over and over again. If you're a composer, you're going to analyze music. Okay. I remember an interview. I'm going to end it with this. Hold on. Let me stop sharing. I remember an interview that D'Angelo had. Now, we know D'Angelo is a great musician, right? And he would get with the guys called Soulquarians. Okay. That's D'Angelo, um, Q-Tip, Jay Dilla. It's a whole group of them, right? Questlove. They would listen to other kind of music to kind of get a vibe. okay, to figure out what direction they want to go, to create a plan of action. It's not copying, it's not cheating. It's that's how we that's how we create good music is by having references. If you give your music to someone who's going to mix, they're going to ask you for a reference. If you have somebody professional master your music, they're going to ask you for a reference. So when you're writing, you want to have references. So what I've taught you over these past 3 weeks is how to gain or how to get your references, proper references according to the platform that you are aiming for. All right. So that's an hour and 5 minutes, 5 minutes over time. But hopefully you find this very, very helpful. Um, I'll be back next week for the last installment, and I have a lot of things that we're going to go over to really make your music really, really interesting. And then, um, unfortunately, my dog won't be able to like connect with this StreamYard yet. But at some point in time, if it ever does, then I'll go ahead and take you on the inside of my DAW so you guys can see how I actually write the music, right? And I can show you some more little tips and tricks. Okay. That being said, I want to thank everybody who came through. Go to my website. Like I said, go to the QR code, go to the website, check out my merch, really nice hats, really nice hoodies. And I will see y'all next week.